아니 오늘 게스트 누구야? 도대체 왜 우리한테 게스트를 안 알려주는 거야?
내가 살짝 들었는데 외국 선수라던데?
외국 선수? 아니 우리 LCK 선수도 많은데 도대체 누구길래?
그러게?
어
롤디오에 무슨 일이 일어나고 있는 거야?
누구야?
유럽의 왕 납시오!
중요한 순간 상대 미드라이너의 목을 잡아뜯고 절대로 놔주지 않는 잔인무도한 유럽의 왕.
이자가 진정 호로브 레전드의 상이다.
안녕하세요. 롤에 대한 모든 것. 여기는 롤디오입니다. 안녕하세요. 저는 호스트 베이지입니다.
안녕하세요 호스트 꼬꼬가 고스입니다.
반갑습니다. 오늘은 저희가
네.
좀 특별한 곳에 와봤어요.
그렇습니다. 이곳이 T1 라운지인데요.
네.
특별한 곳에 온 만큼 저희가 특별한 분을 모셨습니다.
맞습니다. 롤디오에 이런 일이 생겼어요. 롤디오의 첫 번째 글로벌 게스트가 와주셨는데요.
네. LC 17회 우승이라는 괴물 같은 기록을 만들고 있는 유럽의 전설 캡스 선수입니다.
어서 오세요.
어서 오세요. 야, 정말 대단한 분을 모셨습니다. 또 캡스 선수가 또 한국에 오셨기 때문에 저희 롤디오 다양한 이야기를 나눠보도록 하겠습니다.
맞습니다. 그리고 오늘 캡스와의 원활한 소통을 위해서 G2의 스트리머시죠. 파트너 스트리머 와디드님 오셨습니다. 웰컴.
반갑습니다.
네.
오늘은 제가 메인 게스트가 아니고 we have the special guest. So 저는 그냥 이제 트랜슬레이터. 트랜슬레이터로 열심히 해보겠습니다.
웰컴 웰컴. 어서 오세요.
고맙습니다.
자, 먼저 캡스 선수를 모시게 된 계기를 말씀드려야 될 것 같아요. 페이커 선수, 우지 선수에 이어서 캡스 선수가 세 번째 홀 오브 레전드에 선정이 됐습니다. 축하드립니다.
축하드립니다.
Too late, too late.
아하, 늦어. 캡스라는 늦었죠.
그러니까요.
그러니까요.
네.
와, 그래도 오늘 이렇게 또 특별한 계기로 롤디오에 캡스 선수를 모시게 됐어요. 한국에 꽤 여러 번 오신 것 같은데 몇 번째 방문인가요, 이번이?
I'm not even sure actually. I think probably like 10 times or something like this.
10 times.
I think almost every year we've been either for like boot camp or for tournament. And I mean, it's always a lot of fun. So this time has also been fun, but we've only been here like a few days. So hopefully we'll have even more memories the rest of the land at the boot camp.
한국에 와서 보통 게임만 하고 가실 것 같은데 이번에는 좀 이거 꼭 하고 싶다 싶었던 게 있나요?
I mean, I really like the food. I think the food is always very amazing.
Oh.
And I think we also went one time for the karaoke actually.
Oh,
아, 카라오케.
You have also
Oh,
here.
yeah, we tried it as well.
Yeah, you
T1
tried
karaoke.
it?
오. 그러면 한국에 와서 좋은 기억이라든지 아니면 맛있게 먹은 음식이 어떤 게 있는지 좀 궁금합니다.
Probably just Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
I really like
pork, right? Korean beef?
I think beef. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
beef.
beef. All right, all
But
right.
I think I like honestly all the meat. I like trying different ones. And I think I can, depending on the place, depending on the mood as well. I think different ones can be fun nice.
T1 지금 여기에 머무르고 계신데 이거 생활은 어떤지도 궁금해요.
Oh, I mean, T1 bootcamp is definitely very fun. Like this is our second time actually bootcamping here, and I mean the facility is like very good. We have a lot of like space to practice, and I mean the food is also very good. The cafeteria, and like sometimes we see T1 as well, which is very fun. So,
오.
궁금해요. 사실 프로게이머가 되기 전에
네.
라스무스 빈터라는 사람은 어떤 사람이었는지 그래서 질문을 한번 준비를 해봤죠.
네.
네. 프로게이머가 되기 전에는 어떤 꿈을 가지고 계셨나요?
ooh, I actually dreamt of being pro player like since I was like very young. I think I don't even really remember what I like inspired to be before that. I think in school I really like mathematics. And my dad was an accountant, so maybe I was just like dreaming of being an accountant or like being somewhere with the mathematics.
뭐 특별한 게임들이 정말 많았겠지만 리그 오브 레전드를 접하게 된 순간이 좀 기억나는지 궁금합니다.
I remember it was like right before, or like right around the Maokai release. So
Oh.
I think it was
Oh.
20 2011, something like this.
2011.
네.
And my brother actually, my youngest brother, downloaded League on my PC, and he was like, try it out. It's a fun game, and I ended up trying it with my friends. And all I remember is that my other friend came into my room and he pressed my flash key.
오.
He trolled?
Yeah, he trolled me. So it was a tough start.
그러면 궁금한 게 동생이 캡스가 지금 이 뭔가 프로게이머가 된 게 내 덕이다 그런 식으로도 농담을 하는지 좀 궁금합니다.
He's still my older brother, but I guess the younger of my older brothers. Just to
older
clarify.
brother.
Sorry. But I mean, for sure, he also was a pro Dota player. Or like, pro esports
Oh,
player.
really?
So I definitely looked up to him a lot, and he helped me like become a pro. Yeah.
야 프로게이머 집안이네요.
오,
예.
그러게요. 그렇다면 롤을 처음 시작했을 때부터 잘했는지.
I think not like that good. I was. It took me a while to actually get to the high ranks. I think my first few years I just played mainly with friends and a bit more for fun. And I think after like season 3 Worlds and watching that, that was what got me inspired to like try and climb. And I think in the pre-season before season 4, that's when I finally like got challenger and like started being high elo.
오.
What was your elo like at the beginning then?
My first rank
Yeah.
was just like I guess unranked bronze, like low elo. I think season 2 I got like gold.
Go.
골.
And season 3 I was like plat 1, like 99 LP, so very close to diamond but not quite. And then season 4 is finally when.
그렇다면 프로게이머를 해야겠다고 마음먹은 순간이 언제인지 되게 궁금합니다.
I think definitely after like season 3 Worlds, it was like the summer vacation I was watching, and it got me really hyped about League, and especially with watching Vega win the World Championship. I thought like, oh, this looks so cool. It's super fun to watch as well. And I was like striving to reach that level afterwards.
덴마크가 정말 미드라이너의 명가다 뭐 이런 이야기도 있잖아요. 비역슨 선수, 또 옌슨 선수가 대표적으로 언급이 되고 있는데 앞서서 페이커 선수 얘기하기도 하셨지만 이 두 선수에게 또 캡스 선수가 영향을 받은 게 있는지도 궁금해요.
I mean, for sure. I think I was watching a lot of them when I was growing up. I was watching like a lot of their streams. And they're like pro players as well. And they were doing a lot of like big outplays, so it was super exciting to watch.
확실히 그런 선배들의 길을 멋진 모습들을 보다 보니까 이렇게 또 대단한 미드라이너가 탄생한 것 같아요. 네.
맞아요. 특히 TCL에서 프로 생활을 시작하게 됐는데 그 뒤에 이제 푸나틱으로 이적을 했잖아요.
네.
그 얘기를 좀 해볼까 봐요.
좋습니다.
네.
터키 리그에서 우승을 하면서 엄청난 모습을 보인 뒤에 푸나틱에서 캡스 선수를 영입해 갔습니다. 그 당시에 캡스 선수 어떤 마음가짐이었는지 되게 궁금합니다.
I mean, I definitely was super excited to play Fnatic. I thought we could do like very well on Fnatic, and especially after being in Dark Passage and experiencing like my first gaming house and experiencing playing in front of like a huge crowd, I was really excited to try and make some of these big tournaments again. Honestly, it was a lot of fun as well to just like get to travel and play La League and stuff.
또 푸나틱은 또 빅클럽이었으니까
맞아요.
기대를 많이 했을 것 같아요.
그런데 그 푸나틱에서 정말 캡스 선수가 놀라운 성장을 보여줬습니다. 푸나틱 내에서 이런 성장을 이뤄낼 수 있었던 원동력은 뭐였는지 궁금해요.
Thank you. I think definitely I had like a lot of very strong teammates. I think getting to learn from players like Soas and Reckless definitely helped a lot. And also getting to come in with some like fresh ideas and trying to make us play a little bit more aggressive. I think back then we were playing a bit slow in Europe in general, but wanting to take a bit more risk and being aggressive.
팀적인 부분에서도 잘한 게 있지만 캡스 선수가 개인 기량이 계속 상승하는 게 되게 느껴졌던 것 같은데 뭔가 연습 벌레라고 알려져 있다. 얼마나 연습을 하길래 이런 별명이 도는 건지 궁금합니다.
Thank you again. I think I definitely just enjoy League a lot. I think for me it's a lot of fun to play. I think Riot always makes a lot of like fun patches with new champions and like playing new strategies. So for me it seems like maybe like less practice and just like more like having fun and enjoying the time.
오, 역시 즐기는 자가 인류인 것 같습니다.
맞아요.
네.
그래서인지 푸나틱에서 2018년에 월즈 결승을 진출을 합니다. 이게 사실 푸나틱에 합류한 지 2년 차에 일어난 일인데요. 당시 결승까지 갈 수 있었다라고 예상을 하셨는지 궁금해요.
I mean, I think going into the worlds, our scrims were actually a bit tough. Like we were struggling a bit.
Yeah.
So we didn't have like the most confidence going in the start. But I think we were able to fix a lot of our challenges, and we were able to get a lot stronger throughout the tournament. And we ended up learning a lot. So then we got more and more confidence, and sadly we just failed right at the end. But it was a great learning experience for sure.
대단한 기록이었습니다.
맞아요.
그래서 준우승이라는 엄청난 기록을 만들어냈지만 어쨌든 우승의 문턱에서 좌절했기 때문에 심리적인 타격도 있었을 것 같은데 이럴 때 어떻게 마음을 다잡는지가 되게 궁금합니다.
I mean, for me, I think it was still like more of a learning experience than anything. I think we realized that we can like really compete, and if we had been just a little bit better, we could have taken
Yeah.
A little bit
the
better.
championships. So for the next year, we really wanted to just put in all the work we could and try and become as strong as possible, so that we could take the extra step. Sadly, it was not enough, but we gave it all.
그래서 캡스 선수가 또 푸나틱에서 지냈던 시간이 상당히 오래 지났지만 지금의 캡스 선수가 있기까지 또 푸나틱에 한 역할을 했다는 생각이 들거든요. 푸나틱에서의 기억은 어떻게 남아있는지 좀 궁금합니다.
I would say the most probably just going to the gaming house like the first time and like meeting everyone and getting to like hang out with everyone and spending time and like really getting to get very close with everyone. I think when you're like a pro team and you live the same gaming house, you become very close because we are always together, always talking, and just kind of like this brotherhood. I think is very special, and I will always like cherish and remember like the relationship I had with the Fnatic players.
근데 이 푸나틱 시절 이후에 캡스 선수의 또 이적이 엄청 큰 화제가 됐습니다.
그렇죠.
왜냐하면 푸나틱, G2 굉장히 또 라이벌이잖아요. 근데 캡스 선수가 이제 과거의 인터뷰를 보면 내가 국제대회를 우승하고 싶어서 국제대회 성적을 위해서 이렇게 이적을 했다라고 밝히기도 했었는데 G2의 어떤 포인트에서 좀 이적에 대한 확신을 얻었던 걸까요?
Yeah, I mean definitely a tough choice. I think for me, I just had a lot of trust in especially like Perks and Jankos. I've played against Jankos and he seemed like a very strong jungle. And playing against Perks, I thought he was like the toughest opponent to go up against as well. And talking with him, he seemed smart about the game as well. So I was excited to watch them play, even though Perks was AD carry was maybe a bit like I don't know how strong he will be, but he had played some from solo queues and some in-house before, and he had looked decent. So I had the trust in him, and with Jankos as well, I thought we would be like super strong. And then I think both Miki and Wunder was obviously a big surprise as well. I think they did even better than I expected. So I'm just super happy with all.
그래서 G2로 가자마자 뭐 리그 우승뿐만이 아니라 MSI라는 굉장히 큰 대회에서 우승을 또 했습니다. 이렇게까지 빨리 G2가 성공을 거둘 거라고 우승을 할 거라고 생각을 하셨나요?
I definitely had high hopes from us because we had done very well the previous year, and I
Yeah.
think we all had very high like ambitions. But joining the team, I was definitely surprised at how easily we all clicked together. I think all of us had a lot of like synergy, and we saw the game very similarly. And I was definitely super proud of us at MSI. I think it took a lot of like coming together and being clutch on the days to take it on.
이제 그때 당시에 LCK나 LPL이 굉장히 강하긴 했지만 LCK에서는 G2를 만나는 걸 되게 두려워하는 분위기도 있었거든요. 혹시 이런 것도 알고 있었는지 궁금합니다.
I heard because back then LCK win always every match, and I remember joining Fnatic. All the pro players were like, "Oh, can't beat the LCK." So actually, being able to win some best of fives, I think was very nice and made that we had some confidence, and I think it gave a lot of like belief to everyone in EU. And even though nowadays it's also very very tough for us, we will keep striving and keep doing our best to do our best to try and win against the
Yeah.
LCK.
그럼 이 국제대회 우승이 캡스 선수에게 가져다준 그런 의미나 동기부여가 굉장히 크겠네요.
For sure, yeah. I mean, it was very exciting, and I think it just really gave everyone that like if we proved everyone wrong, it's like we can do it. and I think from then on, like everyone will keep striving to being the best, even though it's a tough role.
또 MSI 경기가 캡스 선수에게 좀 의미가 있을 만한 거는 롤모델이라고 했었던 페이커 선수를 만나가지고 SK T1전에서 아칼리로 펜타킬을 한 기록이 있었거든요. 이때가 어떤 순간이었는지, 어떤 기억으로 남아있는지 궁금합니다.
Yeah, I mean definitely. I definitely remember going up against T1 like the first time, and like also seeing like Faker at the hotel and stuff was a very cool experience. And then getting the pentakill just felt like a dream come true. You know?
와, dream come true.
좀 보면서도 너무 잘해가지고 좀 미웠다고 한국 팬, LCK 팬 입장으로서 캡스 너무 잘한다고 생각했다고 한마디 좀 전해주세요.
I mean, from his side, you know, he's LCK side, right? Like from LCK side, like I kind of hated you because you're too good. You're too good.
You're so good.
데빌, 데몬.
Yeah. 그리고 또 캡스 선수의 기록을 살펴보면 정말 깨지지 않는 엄청난 기록이 있습니다. 캡스 선수가 리그 우승이 무려 17회입니다. 와, 이거 정말 유일무이한 기록인데 이렇게 엄청난 기록을 유지할 수 있는 이유가 뭔지 또 궁금해요. 사실 이렇게 우승을 많이 하면 마인드에 변화가 생기거나 좀 열정이 떨어지거나 할 수 있는데 오랜 기간 정상을 유지할 수 있는 방법이 뭘까요?
Definitely just like the experiences. I think every final has felt a little bit different. Like this last final, for example, also felt super close and super exciting to play. And the same for like our winter final as well. We go to like the 5 games, and it's like it feels like the match can go anywhere, and you have like these hype like elder moments or like these super close team fights. So it's just a lot of excitement to play the game and a lot of fun. And then of course also like the dream of winning worlds and just like doing our best to become stronger team. And part of that is also like winning LEC and doing as well as we can in that.
그러면 궁금한 게 3대 0으로 이기는 게 좋은지 아니면 꽉에 가서 3대 2로 이기는 게 좋은지. Which one is better?
네, 거기서도 페페 승승승 물어보자.
물어보자.
페페 승승승.
3대 0이 나은지 페페 승승승이 나은지.
I think probably like reverse sweep. I think winning like 3-2 is very exciting to play. Like the whole series is very exciting, and I think right after, I think winning 3-0 can be nice because it feels like we are doing strong as a team. Like we practiced hard and we were well prepared into the series. So it leaves like a lot of it makes you feel a bit more proud in a way. But I think 3-2 is a lot more fun to play like in the moment, and it feels like back and forth, and the excitement just keeps going.
캡스 선수도 약간 도파민을 원하시네요.
맞아.
예.
중독됐네.
예. 그리고 좀 궁금한 게 어쨌든 리그 우승을 좀 많이 하다 보니까 왕관이 쌓일수록 그 왕관에 무게가 생긴다고 생각을 하는데
맞아요.
그런 부분에서 이 왕자를 지켜야 한다는 부담감이 없는지도 되게 궁금합니다.
Maybe like a little bit of pressure to keep title for sure. I think we also put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Represent EU well internationally because of course with like winning a lot of titles you also want to show good performance internationally. Want to do better than we've done the last few times. I think we've been doing a little bit better slight like year by year. But we need to step it up this time.
그래서 2024년 MSI에서 캡스 선수가 했던 인터뷰가 화제가 됐었습니다. 캡스 선수가 말하기를 국제전에서 이길 수 있다는 희망을 잃은 유럽 선수들이 많다. 내가 이겨서 그들에게 희망을 주고 싶다. 이런 말을 했는데 사실 이제는 LEC의 간판 선수로서 캡스 선수의 무게가 워낙 또 크기 때문에 뭐 말이나 아니면 행동에 있어서 조금 더 내가 잘해야겠다 이런 또 마음이 드시는지도 궁금해요.
The most important for me is to just like change the mindset. I think I mentioned when I joined the league, I think no one thought we could win LCK, and the last few years we had a few years where we struggled to make it out of groups as well, struggled to really win any best of 3, best of 5 against both LPL and LCK, and I think that removed a lot of the hope again. So now we need to bring it back, and we need to show that it is possible. We can win, and if we can do it, I think all the other EU teams think, then we can do it as well.
근데 정말 결과도 중요하지만 G2가 이렇게 만들어가고 있는 그런 과정들도 LEC 팬뿐만 아니라 뭐 LCK, LPL 진짜 리그 오브 레전드를 사랑하는 모든 팬들이 다 응원하고 그리고 너무 큰 영감을 받고 있어요.
Thank you.
네. 그리고 LEC가 어쨌든 메타를 선도하는 부분이 많기 때문에 LCK도 많이 경계하고 있어서 높은 곳에서 정상을 두고 한번 멋지게 싸워봤으면 좋겠다고 얘기해 주세요.
맞아, 맞아.
네.
But then meta.
Yeah.
네.
캐스 선수는 지금 선수 생활을 무려 11년간 계속해오고 있는데
대단하죠.
근데 수년간 엄청 많은 경기를 했을 거 아니에요. 근데 그 중에서 가장 기억에 남는 경기는 뭔지.
I mean, there are many games that I think will always stay with me, both some tough losses and also some very fun wins. And I think the one that I will always think about is like the Vayne Myth, which was a very exciting game, which I played with the Fnatic in like season 8. And
Dylan, we have to go pay.
아,
Yeah.
미드베인.
I think this one will always stay with me because it was just a very exciting game. We were losing as well, and then we made the comeback. And I had so much energy afterwards. I remember just super excited.
저는 이게 T1 상대로 했었던 그 미드 아칼리 펜타키를 이길 줄 몰랐다고 얘기해 주세요.
So we thought like your moment will be like Akali Pentacle against Tion. But now, like we didn't expect that game, like that mid Vayne game could be your like favorite moment. Like we didn't expect that.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, there's like many moments that will always stay with me. But
Yeah.
I think definitely sometimes it's not even so much the like sometimes even like a regular season game can be like always stay with me, even though it might not be the most important in terms of like making playoffs and like maybe everyone will not necessarily think about it. Like the impact of the game on me can definitely be quite big. There's been like some tough losses as well that might not like everyone else might not think about. But for me, those games were very important because I made like a crucial mistake or I learned like something very specific from it.
회심의 뭔가 픽으로서 미드베인이 나가는데 초반에 말렸을 때 그 심정이 어땠는지 그리고 나중에 게임을 이겼을 때 심정이 어땠는지가 좀 궁금해요. 네.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely our main games in practice had been a bit hit and miss, like not so consistent. So when I think around the Raptors, I did like a big misplay, and I ended up like falling a bit behind, and then we all fell a bit behind as a team as well. And then when we finally got the comeback, it definitely made it all feel worth it in the end because the game so far had been a lot of struggling, a lot of like tough moments because we were just getting pressured and pressured and pressured. But to finally break the pressure, it made it feel even better.
Yeah,
Wow.
I still remember the moment when you killed their AD carry on the top side, the inhibitor, right?
Yeah.
Your base.
Handsama.
Yeah,
한스마 크리스타나.
yeah, it was Hansama. It was Hansama jumping on you, no? Like he jumped on you and you just stumbled on him. Like, oh man, like yeah, that's great.
Yeah, very rough early. But also for Hansama, I played against him the Vayne mid, but I also did the Wukong mid and Kayn mid, and I was killing him as well. And he was asking me like, why always me? Why are you always against me?
재밌네요. 근데 지금은 또 어엿한 동료가 되어 있으니.
But now you're the teammate.
Yeah.
최근에 그 퍼스트 스탠드에서 한스 사마와 그 호흡을 맞춰서 그 애쉬 궁극기를 미드에 딱 적중시키고 미드에 궁 쏴. 그럼 오케이 믿을게 쏠게 해서 잡는 그런 과정이 나오면 저 같은 경우에는 막 설계하는 거나 이런 걸 너무 좋아하는데 실제로 그런 게 경기에 나오면 너무 도파민이 터질 것 같은데 좀 그 플레이 이후로 또 한스 사마랑 이야기를 했는지도 궁금해요.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely very thankful for the arrow. I think that he was like he hit like it right on the target, and
Yeah.
it was like a very good arrow for him. So super happy about that, and I mean super excited to also play with Hans now. We played a few years on team together, but before that we also been competing against each other for a long time. We started actually playing pro the same time,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we started playing like high-low same time. So I've been competing like with and against him for like almost 11 or like.
Yeah.
I guess even longer at this point. So it's been a long time, but it's been a lot of fun as well.
그리고 또 캡스 선수가 경기 외에 프로 생활하는 동안에도 인생의 분기점이나 아니면은 뭔가 마인드에 큰 변화를 줬던 순간이 있는지도 되게 궁금합니다.
I think for me probably just learning a little bit, like every day, every month, every experience we get to have, like whether it be like traveling and boot camping like we have now. We've like learned so much about like how to handle jet lag, how to handle food, and how to handle like not playing like too much solo queue like all night and stuff like this. Like so, just all these different experiences I've had throughout my career and throughout my life, just like learning a little bit from them every time.
그래서 캡스 선수가 보면은 하루하루를 소홀히 여기지 않는 것 같아요. 한 게임 한 게임을 사실 게이머들을 약간 버릴 수도 있거든요. 근데 그 게임들에 대한 그 기억들을 다 잘 약으로서 선순환시키는 것 같아요. 네.
Thank you.
저도 하나 물어보고 싶은 게
네.
이제 게이머로서 게임을 하다 보면은 되게 멘탈이 나오고 특히나 저는 이제 유럽에서 게임을 했기 때문에
그쵸.
이고
예.
나의 셀프 프라우드
아하.
이런 것들이 강했는데 캡스 보면 신기하게 유럽인 같지 않다.
어.
오히려 되게 공손하고
스마일 보이예요.
그러니까
완전.
그게 사실 친구들 보면 그런 친구들도 많은데 그런 걸 보면은 좀 어떤 생각이 드는지도 궁금하거든요.
I think it's always like a balance. I mean, of course, I think we all have like some ego in a way, right? That's like what also helps us like strive towards like achieving great things, right? But I think it's also important that you do everything you can to like not let it control you, not let it like hurt your teammates, especially because your teammates are like so important when it comes to league, right? Like it's a team game, and I think making sure everyone on the team is like very confident, making sure everyone in the team has like a lot of belief between each other and like trust between each other, I think is the most important thing of all. Acknowledging, I guess, the ego and like realizing like this is what I want, you know, I want to become the best in the world. It will not like lead me. I will think, you know, with my brain, I will learn from the games. It's okay that I'm not the best right now, as long as I strive towards it and I learn something from this game.
GT가 MSI 19년도 때 우승을 하면서 정말 계속해서 성장 가도를 달리고 있었어요. 그러면서 19년도 때 월즈 결승을 또 갔었는데 아쉽게도 좀 좌절했던 순간들이 있었습니다. 이때 얼마나 아쉬움이 컸는지 아니면 이것 또한 성장의 동력이 되었는지 궁금합니다.
It definitely felt bad. It felt like we were like a strong team and we felt like we had practiced very hard, but we just weren't strong enough in the end in like the most important match. And I think for the next year we really wanted to do better and we wanted to stay together as a team because we all had a lot of like trust and faith in each other and we all enjoyed it. But at the same time, I think, for example, for Perks, he also didn't like AD carry as much. So I also tried to swap to AD carry, so I could he could play mid again, I could play AD carry. We tried like we tried some different things with the roster basically to find success. But it definitely hit us hard.
그리고 또 다른 여러 리그들이 있는데 이게 사실 경쟁이기도 하지만 서로 성장도 굉장히 중요하잖아요.
그렇죠.
그래서 캡스 선수가 다른 리그들에 가지고 있는 마음은 어떤지 궁금해요.
Always want to like I've always wanted to strive to like the world championship, and I think especially when it comes to the international competition, it just gets like so much more fun because in Europe you always like scrim same teams, you always play with them, so you kind of have a good read on everyone. You are very familiar with every team, but when you go international, there's so many different teams with like very different styles as well, like different meta reads, different ideas, and to go up against all these different ideas back to back to back, it gets very like chaotic. But I think the chaos can also be very fun, and I think there's like so many strong teams out there that play like very differently from how we see the game, you know.
경쟁
그러면-
관계이자 어쨌든 동료로 의식하고 있네요. 네.
Yeah.
그러면은 다른 리그를 캡스의 도파민이라고 칭해도 될까요?
For,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
because like it gives you a lot of dopamine for you, you know.
Yeah, definitely very fun and definitely also what we strive towards, right? Like I think finally being able to beat all the other regions, I think that's the dream. So.
그 최종 우승이 목표이기 때문에 그런 것들이 목표이기 때문에 이제 아무래도 그런 것들이 더 재밌지 않나.
저 좀 궁금한 거 있어요. 저희는 어쨌든 아시아 지역이니까 유럽과 뭐 북미 관계를 자세히는 알지 못하잖아요. 얼만큼 라이벌리가 있는지 그런 부분에서 꼭 한 지역을 이겨야 한다면 LCK, LPL, LCS 중 어디를 이기고 싶어 하는지가 좀 궁금합니다.
너무 재밌겠다. 내
I mean-
도파민 질문이야.
네.
I mean, I think definitely LCK.
Over NA?
Yeah, I think over NA as well. I think just because when I started wanting to be pro, like watching season 3 Worlds, and like I started watching more competitive season 4, season 5, season 6, and the EU LEC teams were always just like losing to LCK. So I always wanted to like win some games against LCK, you know, and get some wins back.
Yeah.
한마디만 전해주세요. 우리 유럽에 나서스 경계하고 있다고.
Okay. We are aware of your NASAs, by the way. So we are prepared.
네.
오케이.
I can't say.
자, 뭐
오케이.
딱히 말씀드릴 수가 없네요.
네.
자, 오늘 대화가 너무 재밌는데 이렇게 대화를 할 수 있었던 이유는 바로 캡스가 홀 오브 레전드에 선정이 됐기 때문입니다. 다시 한번 축하드립니다.
축하드립니다.
자, 이렇게 홀 홀로브 레전드에 선정이 됐는데 선정된 소감 여쭤봐야겠죠.
No, I mean, it feels very good, very good. I think it's a big achievement to have reached, so I'm super grateful for to get chosen. And I also want to make everyone proud, especially the fans. And this MSI is like a great time to do it.
와.
그리고 캡스 선수 이전에 페이커 선수와 우지 선수가 이 홀 오브 레전드에 올랐는데 두 선수에 대한 캡스 선수의 생각은 어떤지가 좀 궁금합니다.
I mean, definitely a lot of respect. I think, again, growing up watching Faker in the final, but also Uzi as well, and also getting to compete against both of them many times, and they are always like very tough games against them. So, yeah, big respect to both of them.
야, 캡스 선수가 이 홀 오브 레전드에 선정됐다라고 발표되기 전에 정말 수많은 추측들이 있었습니다. 이번 선수는 아마 탑이나 정글
어허.
아니면 서폿에서 나올 거다 이런 이야기가 있었는데 왜냐하면 페이커 선수는 미드라이너고 그리고
우지는
우지는
원딜 쪽이었으니까요.
네, 원딜이니까. 근데 캡스 선수는 예상을 하셨는지 본인이 될 거라고 아니면은 또 다른 선수를 예상하기도 하셨는지요?
Oh yeah, I didn't expect. I was not sure what Riot wanted to do with if they wanted to go like as you mentioned. I think roll by roll, or if they wanted to do like I wasn't sure. But I was definitely like grateful for the nomination, and I think they made good decision.
I totally agree.
야,
라이엇 굿!
유럽의
Nice.
1번으로
It's
됐기
good.
때문에 좀 더 의미 있었을 것 같아요. 그리고 많은 분들이 궁금해하셨던 게 사실 스킨에 대한 부분들도 있었잖아요. 그런 부분에서 오리아나와 트리스타나를 선택했는데 이유가 있는지도 되게 궁금합니다.
Not vain.
I feel so bad. I was expecting.
Why?
I think I mean for me it was definitely hard because when I play League I definitely like playing like a lot of different champions. So like choosing like committing to like this champion, but a lot of it for me was just like what was I having the most fun with again and just enjoying the most. And I think Tristana was just a lot of fun for me, especially with the AD carry mid meta, because you got to jump in and like jump out, like all these like resets like back and forth, and also like the side laning. You get to go for like the 1v2s, the 1v1, like a lot of fighting like this, and even in the team fights, it's a very good. Like a super hyper carry, can try and protect her, and she can get like the pentakills and stuff. So for me, Tristana was like just the most exciting, the most fun to play for sure.
오리아나.
What about Oriana?
Oh, I think for Oriana, I think it's just a champ that I've enjoyed like throughout all my career. Like a lot of fun with like the shockwave, getting the big shockwave, hiding it maybe. I think nowadays we're doing a lot of like especially with the Skuman, where he's like flashing. Flashing
I like the tactics. We call it G2 ulti, like you just put the ball on your jungler and he flashes for you, right?
the teamwork.
그러면서 궁금한 게 어쨌든 다른 챔피언들도 좀 고려할 수 있었을 텐데 혹시 고민했던 챔피언들이 있었는지가 궁금합니다. 뭐 캡스 하면은 우리가 떠오르는 게 르블랑도 너무 잘하고 뭔가 아리에 대한 기억들도 있거든요. 예.
Definitely a lot of options. I think there's been so many champions, like as you mentioned, these ones. I think champions like Syndra, Sylas, like all these champions have been like a lot of fun to play throughout the years, and it was definitely a tough choice to think about all of them.
Yeah.
But I thought Tristana Ori, these ones were the most fun. The most fun.
나중에 캡스 선수 20주년 되어서 나중에 만들어 달라고 좀 부탁드리세요. 예.
Riot can make another skins for you. So.
그러면 말씀하신 대로 오리아나, 트리스타나를 골랐기 때문에 이 두 챔피언의 스킨이 굉장히 멋있을 것 같거든요. 또 팬분들이 많이 궁금해하실 것 같고 그래서 혹시라도 스킨 디자인이 어떤지 살짝 힌트를 줄 수 있는지.
I mean, I can say that there's definitely a little bit of like a robot theme in a way.
Robot theme. Oh, wow.
And,
Oh yeah.
I can say that like my dad is helping me as well.
Oh really?
오!
So like you mean like father is that like he gave your idea to make the skins or like just father being in the skin?
He's like helping me in the game.
In the game? Okay.
In the game,
So
your
he's
father?
gonna be part of the skin?
In a way, yeah. In
Oh,
a
alright. 그러니까 아버지가
예.
어떤 파트에 있을 것 같다고.
오.
왜냐면 또 아버지께서 또 정말 많은 또 응원과 사랑을
그쵸,
보내주신 걸로
예.
유명하잖아요. 그래서 또 그 부분이 또 또 2부 파티에 들어가 있지 않을까.
멋있네요. 야.
근데 이것도
It would be very
궁금해요.
touching.
네, 너무
Yeah.
너무
음.
막 감동의 그런 게 좀 느껴지기도
맞아.
하고.
매번 현장에 와서 응원해 주시는 모습을 보면은 저희도 되게 보기 좋다고 좀 전해주세요.
맞아요.
그리고 저 하나 또 물어보신 게
네.
왜 로봇 테마인지, 로봇을 좋아하는지.
그래.
그러니까.
로봇을 좋아하니까 로봇 테마를
그래,
만든 게
맞아,
아닐까?
맞아,
약간 이런
나도
생각이
그래.
드는데.
Yeah, I mean, I like robot. I like science fiction as well. And I thought the Riot design they came with was just like very good. I thought they did a very good job. So I think that's I guess sealed it for me. Because yeah, I mean, it looked
와. 그러면 팬분들한테 스킨 홍보를 좀 해주세요.
그쵸.
많이 관심 가져달라고.
Again, very big thanks for being part of the Hall of Legends. I hope you guys enjoyed the skins. They took a lot of work, and I've been working with Riot to make them as good as possible. And for me, they are very exciting. Watching them, they look very cool. Especially Tristana, I'm super excited about pulling out on the Rift, and I hope you will have the same excitement to play it.
꼭그
아우 마이.
협곡에서.
아우 마이.
저 원딜이라고.
He's a AD carry player, by the way.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm jungler,
네.
but I buy.
Tristana jungle.
출산하는 거 why not?
Nice, nice, nice.
그리고 스킨 디테일에 대해서 이야기 할 게 조금 더 있는 게 뭐 캡스 선수의 스킨은 아니지만 예전에 페이커 선수에게 선인장을 선물했는데 또 페이커 선수 아리 스킨에 그 선인장을 들고 있는 모습이 화제가 되었다. 혹시 이거 알고 있는지?
I saw it. Yeah, with
Yeah, how did it feel?
it was really fun Easter egg. I
Yeah.
think it's always fun to see like Riot go like very in depth to get all the small Easter eggs, all the fun memories. And I think for me this was a very fun memory as well to give the cactus.
그러면은 캡스 선수의 스킨에도 혹시 그런 이스터 에그가 또 있나요?
I mean, definitely a lot of Easter eggs have coming in, and I think like also still like deciding like on like Riot is still also deciding on like the each one of them. So I'm not sure which one will make it through the final version. But I think so far a lot of them look fun and excited to see them like in the game as well.
너무 기대된다. 기대 많이 하고 있어요.
재밌겠다.
네. 그리고 캡스 선수가 또 올해 홀 오브 레전드에 오르면서 이제 롤팬들에게 잊을 수 없는 선수가 되었거든요. 팬분들께 어떤 선수로 기억 남고 싶은지가 되게 궁금합니다.
Prove that it is possible again to compete at the top. That you can like if you really put in the work and you can also have fun in doing so, like having fun while trying to become the best in the world, and that it is possible. You know, to really like have hope that one day if you put in the work, you can become the best.
이미 많은 사람들이 캡스 선수를 보면서 되게 희망을 느끼고 있을 것 같아요.
맞아요.
네.
뭐 유럽의 희망이다라고 불리는 캡스 선수인데 어떤 마음가짐으로 이렇게 선수 생활을 하는지 들으니까
네.
앞으로 더 응원하고 싶고
그니까요.
네, 그런 마음이 들어요.
저희가 직접 대화를 하면서 캡스 선수가 어떤 사람인지를 약간 알아가는 부분에서 더 리스펙을 표하게 되는 것 같아요.
그러니까.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun to talk with you.
Thank you.
그리고 또 누구나
네.
꿈꾸는 하나의 순간들이 있잖아요.
그렇죠.
캡스 선수가 꿈꾸는 어떤 그림은 어떤 순간인지 궁금해요. 뭐 월즈 트로피를 들고 있는 순간일지 아니면 또 어떤 그림일지.
I think definitely like lifting the Wells Trophy, and I think definitely having like an exciting road there.
Yeah.
I mentioned the 5 games, the
Yeah.
thrill, the back and forth. You know, we have like a crazy elder fight at the end.
Yeah.
I think that would be like the dream, you know. And when we are on like a team together, like really going through like the tough moments, but then also having like the great moments afterwards. I think that's what makes it like so beautiful to be on like a league team.
그렇군요.
네.
그리고 캡스 선수가 또 올해가 또 정말 또 특별한 해가 되잖아요. 홀 오브 레전드에 올랐기 때문에 올해 남아있는 목표라든지 각오가 어떤지 좀 궁금합니다.
The goal is definitely just to strive towards becoming the best, right? We want to win MSI, we want to win LEC, we want to win Worlds, and I think especially with this team right now, it was like a tough start from us. Like last year at the start, we were struggling in Europe, but I feel like split by split we do a little bit of improvement, and now first time was like a very big success for us as well. But we still want to do better at MSI, you know, and we want to do even more. And we learned so much from playing against like the best teams in the world. So if we can keep learning from the best teams, if we can keep applying like these things in our own games, I think we can go far.
그래서 캡스 선수의 이런 그 과정들, 결과들을 보기 위해서 한국에서도 새벽부터 에리 씨를 보는 정말 수많은 한국 시청자들이 있거든요.
네.
에리 씨를 사랑하고 캡스를 사랑하는 한국 팬분들에게 한마디 해주실 수 있는지 궁금합니다.
Oh yeah, I mean, big thank you to all the Korean fans. I think again, I've been many times now Korea, but every time I'm here, it's always awesome to meet like all the fans. They are very like passionate about the game as well. Like they really care about like us doing good. They really give us like all their hopes and dreams, and they wish us like the most of luck as well. So it's been awesome, and even like these last few days that we've been here, we've already met like a bunch of fans. So yeah, again, big thank you to everyone for supporting us. Even after 2 a.m.
네. 자, 그리고 롤듀오에는 공식 질문이 있습니다.
좋죠.
나랑 밥 한 끼 할래요? 하고 싶은 선수가 있는지.
Probably Faker.
아.
Yeah, I mean, I think again, I have a lot of respect for him. Growing up watching him, even when I was like very young. So and now getting to compete against him is a lot of fun. So I think he's definitely like a player that will be fun to eat with.
그러면은 밥 먹으면서 무슨 얘기하고 싶은지, 그냥 뭐 사생활 얘기하고 싶은지, 게임 얘기하고 싶은지가 되게 궁금해요.
I mean, I definitely would love for him to share like some knowledge. I think I mean, a bit in game of course as well, but also just like the experiences he has, like going like all these world trophies, like dealing with travel, dealing with like this constant like play, and like how he handles like these situations. I think he has like so much wisdom. So like sharing all these experiences would be insane for me.
So not about like any private stories, just about like in-game and experience.
No, I think some private stories will be fun as well. I'm sure like at these worlds and all these like last few like many years he's competed now. Like I've competed a long time, he's competed like even longer. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he has like many funny stories as well from like his gaming house, from,
Yeah, right.
from his life as well. And if he wants to share some of those, I would I'll definitely listen.
여기서 먹을 수도 있겠네요, 밥을 같이.
I mean, you can just
You can
go
meet.
and you know,
Sure, yeah.
we're in the Tion headquarters, right?
At the cafeteria, right?
Yeah, at the cafeteria, yeah.
Maybe.
네, 이렇게 한번 대화를 나눠봤는데 오늘
네.
캡스 선수와 또 이렇게 진솔한 이야기 나눌 수 있어서 너무 좋은 시간이었어요.
그렇습니다. 근데 저희가 여기서 인터뷰만 하고 끝내기 너무 아쉽잖아요. 그래서 한국을 기념할 수 있는 특별한 선물들을 한번 준비해 봤거든요.
네.
혹시 좀 볼 수 있을까요, 저희?
We prepared a very traditional Korean gift for you. So I hope you like it.
Yeah, I hope
Thank
you
you.
like it.
Oh wow,
Yeah. First
아주
of all,
많아요, 선물이.
we have
Yeah.
a lot.
First of all, this is 갓.
Wow,
갓.
this is we call it gat. I think it's one of the traditional Korean hat.
네.
It's from the Joseon dynasty. You know, like it's a really
뜯은
old
거
one.
있지 않나?
It's
But it's
a
like-
cap
뜯은
caps.
거?
Yeah.
Hey.
It's a caps. Yeah.
Yes. It's a cap.
Yeah, it's for everyone, like for your
Yeah.
teammates.
Thank you.
K-pop 데모노터스를
Yeah.
보셨는데
Do you see K-pop Demon Hunters?
Oh yeah, I watched.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
저승사자들이 쓰는 모자라고.
Yeah. Like the
Like-
demons, like demon hunters.
예.
Like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
아! 잘 어울려요.
한국식 라바돈 모자.
맞아. Korean.
두 번째는
어.
장패드입니다.
Yeah, I think for the
Oh.
cultural use as well. Okay.
예.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
야.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
네.
Thank you so much.
한국식 문양이 특징이라서 이 패드를 볼 때마다 저희를 꼭 기억해 주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 그리고 요거는 인왕제색도라는 그림이 그려져 있는 부채예요.
네.
네.
This is like kind of special. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. 그리고 이거는
계속 있어요.
another 그 조선시대 왕들의 곤룡포에서
Wow.
이미지를 딴 잔이에요.
This is the kings. We prepared Korean kings for the
Yes.
European king.
네. 아
you.
그리고 요거는 이제 또 와인 마개인데
오.
캡스 선수가 또 와인을 안 드시다 보니까 어떻게 사용해야 될지 약간 고민이긴 할
For
것
your
같아요.
dad. Yeah.
This is also like the illustration
Words.
for the king, you know.
Yeah.
Thank
It
you.
used that's all.
Very pretty. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
뭐 이 중에서 가장 혹시 마음에 드는 게 있으면 딱 하나만 골라달라고 해줄 수 있을까요?
So what's your favorite out of all of this?
I think probably mousepad.
Because you can use it, right?
와 오늘 캡스 선수와 정말 특별한 시간 가져봤는데요.
네.
다시 한번 오늘 나와주셔서 고맙습니다. 자 롤에 대한 모든 것 이야기는
로디오 안녕.